to the new ones today.
Let's go.
Zara.
Well, the Chazara is actually new because we didn't have share yesterday. So go ahead.
All right, date, honey, apple wine, and winter grape vinegar, and all other fruit juices.
Nope.
Yes.
What did I? It's Garinate Truma. Yeah, Terumos 11.5.
Yesterday, 235. Sorry, in the wrong place. Okay, here we go. Kernels of truma, so long as he keeps them, are forbidden. But if he threw them away, they are permitted. So too, bones of holy food, so long as he keeps them, are forbidden. But if he threw them away, they are permitted. Coarse grain is permitted. Fine grain is new is forbidden. But of old is permitted. And if he may treat truma as if he treats chulin. If one sifts 1 or 2 cobs of fine flour from a sah, he may not throw away, but the rest but he may not throw away, and the rest must be put in a hidden place.
Okay, so just our regular achas, the basic point of this Mishnah is that once a kohen has got his truma, and there's some leftover pieces, like maybe a truma or even kodshim. So, like for example, if he's got a bone that's still got little flecks of meat on it, but they're not important to him. So he tosses it away. So Yisrael, who's desperate, can come and scrape off the little bits of meat from that and eat it. Okay, even though it's from kodshim. And so the leftovers also, if he had truma in a certain spot in his storehouse and he got rid of it, then they're still, you can't get rid of it all. They're just little bits, but you don't care about them. You can sweep them out and not really care about them, and not really care about these little leftovers because they're not considered kashut. Okay, go ahead. The next one.
One cleared out truma, wheat from the storeroom. He is not enjoined to sit down and collect them one by one, but he sweeps them in his usual manner and puts chulin into it.
Right. Sorry, I preempted this one. Go ahead.
Okay, and so too, if a jar of oil was upset, he is not enjoined to sit down and scoop it up, but deals with it as he would with chulin.
Right. So he doesn't. So he can leave the parts that he just can't get to. He can't get to. He's not obligated to try and scrape every fingers underneath and into the ground. Whatever. If it's gone, it's gone. Okay. Mishna ches. So he's pouring from one jug to another. He's got truma in one jug,
right?
And he wants to pour it into another one to put chulin into the first one. But notef shalosh tipim. And it starts out as a solid stream, but once it gets to the end, then he gives 3 drops, right? Drop, drop, drop. Okay, and after those 3 drops, whatever's inside is considered insignificant, and he can immediately put chulin into it. So he doesn't have to worry about it. Even he can be mevatel because it's no longer considered important. He doesn't have to take it and rinse it out and whatever. He just adds the chulin into it. Hikino mitzah. If you put it on its side and now the oil or the wine that was left in the bottle, now it all gathered into one little spot. Hooray, truma. It still is considered truma, and he can't say, "Oh, now it's all gathered together. It's now so now I can pour I can pour this into another cup and I can drink this he can't do that. It still is considered truma until he adds the chulin into it. Now he doesn't have to now try and pour it out back into the truma bowl. It's still not important enough that he has to go and give it off to the kohen, and he's allowed to add the chulin afterwards. But until he adds the chulin into it, whatever's left in the bottle still has the din of truma. Now let's say you've got trumas maser of demai. Demai already is a derabanan. Okay, and it's because I suspect that maybe the Amaretz wasn't so makpid on the trumas maser. Okay, how much does he have to? How much trumas maser does he have to be before he actually has to bother to take it to a kohen, as opposed to just keeping it aside? Echad mishmone lishminis. So 1/64th of kav, which is 1/64th of a log, which is a kortov, and that kortov is basically a teaspoonful. Okay. Otherwise, anything more than that, he has to make sure to give it to a kohen. Less than that, it's not worth it because it's a safek if it even is truma. Whereas with Vadai Truma and Trumas Maser, he has to take, no matter how small it is, he has to give to Kohen. Okay, Kashine Truma, vetches. Vetches is that's the vegetable that's mostly for animal fodder, but in a pinch can be used for human food. So given that it's intended for animals, then if you have truma from that, if the Yisrael farmer gathers vetches to feed his animals, he still has to take truma from it and give it to the Kohen so the Kohen can feed his animals. Okay. Kashine truma ma'achilin osam lebehema, you can feed them to the animal, velachaya, velatarnagolim, okay, to whether it's to behemoths, chayas, or to chickens.
Right.
Yisrael sisachar parami kohen. Now, what about these things? If a Yisrael rented a cow from a kohen, so the kohen says the kohen's cow.
Okay.
Okay, ma'achila kashene, he is allowed to feed it his kashene truma. Okay, the kohen shesachar parami Yisrael afal pi shemazono seha alav. And in the other direction, if a kohen rented a cow from Israel, even though he's got the obligation to feed it, he's not allowed to feed a truma, because ultimately it's the Israel who's benefiting from it, and it's Israel's cow. Israel shesham parami kohen. However, when it's a case where the Kohen has given the cow over to the Israel in order to look after, to grow it, and they have a share in it. It's basically under his achrayas completely. Now it's out of the Kohen's rishus and it's in his rishus, even though the Kohen's got a share in it. The Kohen shesham param Israel, and in the other direction, if it's a Kohen who's looking after the cow for the Israel, but it's this relationship of a business investment where the cow is now in his responsibility and he's got to grow it and whatever, then he's also allowed to feed. Okay, now if you have shemen streifa, tame oil of truma, so it needs to be burned, but you're allowed to benefit from the burning, but it has to be for a kohen. Okay, and you're allowed to light the shemen streifa inside the Beit HaKnesset, Beit HaMidrashos, inside the study halls, and inside the dark alleys, al gabe hacholin, and also above sick people. If the Kohen is there and gives permission to do so. So if you need light, the Kohen can come and say, okay, let's light this oil over here, and the Kohen benefits from it, and so does everybody else, and that's allowed because ner lechadu ner le'elef. A candle for one is a candle for everyone. Okay, so it's not that the Israelim are asked to benefit from it; it's just that it can't be only for them. If the Kohen is there, he's machshir the whole lot. Bas Yisrael shenises lekohen. So a Yisraelis girl who is a Kohen, v'hi lamuda etzel avia, but she frequently goes back to her parents' house. Okay, avia madlik birshusa. Her father can light shemen streifa with her permission. Okay, so she goes back for Shabbos meal at her home, and they've got some shemen streifa. They can use the shemen streifa with her permission. Madlikin beveis mishte aval lo beveis ha'evel. Now you're allowed to light inside a wedding hall, aval lo beveis ha'evel, not not in a mourner's house. Divrei Rabbi Yehuda. Rabbi Yehuda says that that in the Beis HaMishta, people are wearing their good clothes, and nobody's going to forget themselves and start playing with the oil from the lamps. You can't use them inside a mourner's home because their people aren't necessarily wearing their best, and they may decide, look, there's a lamp over there, let me take some of the oil and use it for my personal needs. That's according to Rabbi Yehuda. Rabbi Yossi Omer Bebeis Ha'evel Aval Bebeis HaMishta. He says the opposite. He says no. It's in the Beis Ha'evel I'll permit you to, because people are in a somber frame of mind, and they're not going to they're going to be thinking and careful, and so, oh wait, that could be shemen streifa. Whereas in the Beis HaMishta, he's concerned that maybe they're up and jolly and not thinking properly, and so they'll take some of the oil. Rabbi Meir Oster Kan v'Kan. Rabbi Meir looks at both of them and takes both of their chumras. And Rabbi Shimon Matir Kan v'Kan. Rabbi Shimon takes both of their kulas. And so the halacha in this case follows Rabbi Shimon, the Hadron Alach Maseches.
We start Ma'aser
Okay.
tomorrow.
Yeah, and tomorrow is Masters.
Yes.
That's right.
And you have to go.
Okay, and I gotta go.
Okay, sorry.
Okay.
Thank you.
Have a wonderful Shabbos.
Great Shabbos.